Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 4th and 5th of July 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs, so watch this video till last. But guys, you can download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link, and after downloading you can log in with your email ID. After login you can subscribe for 1 year current affairs as well as for 2 year current affair after clicking on this crack current affair section. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of those current affairs which are coming in your exam. This is the genuinity, this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. How we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily current affair section. In this section, you will receive three type of things. One is detailed current affair. Next is the question and answer format of current affair, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. We are also providing weekly section. In the weekly, you will also receive three type of things. One is detailed current affair, second is the question and answer format of current affair, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. The most important section here is the monthly, because we are providing four type of different PDFs. One is detailed current affairs, second is the question and answer format of current affairs. Best 100 current affair will be provided to you in the form of question and answer, and we are also providing pocket PDF. It means 2-liner and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise the current affair in quick format before your exam. But to enhance your performance, we are also providing topic-wise current affair. Like we are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. If you want to cover all the related news just from single topic, then you have to pick these type of PDFs. If you are a banking aspirant, then we are providing three type of things. One is detail and question and answer format of current affairs only related to banking and economy. And second is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application only related to banking and economy on our application. And it is on the monthly basis. If you want to revise all the past current affairs just from single PDF, then you can use this exam PDF. And we are also providing detailed budget and economic survey and expected question and answer PDF also provided to you, so that you can know that examiner can make these type of questions from budget and economic survey. We are also providing state current affairs, and it will enhance your state performance definitely, and we are covering every state and union territory. So guys, there is no different subscription. We are providing all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link, and you can click on this login with Google, and you can log in with your email ID and click on this crack current affair section. After that, you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 year. Both the subscription prices are very much low, and on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And guys, you can also email us on this email ID and also call us on this number if you have any type of query. So let's begin today's session. That is the 4th and 5th of June 2021. But I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you have to subscribe this channel. And guys, this is the only motivation you can provide us. Please join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the first question in the most important section. Which organization awarded as the world's most innovative investment promotion agency of 2021? The most important keyword under this question, most innovative investment promotion agency. And answer of this question is Invest India. Even our Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, that is Piyush Goyal ji, and Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar ji congratulated Invest India for winning the world's most innovative investment promotion agency for 2021. By which organization? This organization is OCO organization. If you want to skip this organization name, you can, because it is not so much important. But this award is given by OCO Global Organization, which belongs to which country? It belongs to Ireland. You can also see here, Invest India has been continuously identifying innovative areas of investment and bringing in sustainable investors to India despite the disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Because the main objective of this Invest India is promotion of Indian national investment through sector-specific target development in partnership with sustainable investment promotion agencies and multilateral organization. This Invest India was basically established in the year of 2009 under the Department of Promotion and Industry and the Internal Trade under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Its managing director and CEO is Deepak Bagla. You can remember if you want, otherwise not so much important. Deepak Bagla. And you can also remember this was established in 2009. In simple word, you can remember that Invest India promoted Indian economy and also promoted that maximum to maximum investment can take place in India. And recently, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development also declared Invest India as the winner of 2020 United Nations Investment Promotion for Award. So you can also remember that similar type of award is also given by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So this is most important question because we are talking about most important organization, Investment India. Now we are moving to next question. Who was awarded with the Order of the Polar Star? And it is the highest civilian award of Mongolia. You have to remember the highest civilian award of the Mongolia named as the Polar Star. So answer of this question is A. R.K. Sabharwal. He is currently chairman and managing director of Engineers India Limited organization, and he was honored with the prestigious award for his contribution toward the construction of Mongolia's first ever oil refinery. So remember, he constructed the Mongolia's first ever oil refinery. The oil refinery is constructed by the Mongolian government with the USD 1 billion line of credit provided by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his visit in the Mongolia in 2019. And this person was awarded as the highest civilian award of Mongolia. Remember the name R.K. Sabharwal. And guys, remember the other options because these are again very important. And first you can see here the Shyamala Ghosh. She received the Order of Rising Sun. Order of Rising Sun, like this. Order of Polar Star, it is the highest civilian award of the Mongolia, and Order of Rising Sun is one of the highest civilian award of the Japan government for promotion of the culture especially. Justice Geeta Mittal, she recently received Erline Pecht Global Vision Award for 2021. Tahira Kutubuddin, most important question guys, first Indian to win the 15th Sheikh Zayed Award. So remember, first Indian to win Sheikh Zayed Book Award. So this is the most important awards given under the month of May. But you have to remember R.K. Sabharwal. Here is the question, highest civilian award of Mongolia. So we covered all these things. Now we are moving to the next question. But you can remember the main line. It is for the construction of Mongolian first ever oil refinery. Moving to next. What is the name of India's first indigenously autonomous drone defense dome recently developed by the Green Robotics, especially after the attack of the Jammu and Kashmir airport with the drone system. So there is a need of this type of the system, that is first indigenously autonomous drone defense dome recently developed by which organization? It is Green Robotics. It is Hyderabad based organization. And answer of this question is Indrajal. So remember Indrajal. You can see here. This is like dome type structure, and it is autonomous dome system which is known as the Indrajal, and it is Hyderabad based organization which is named as Green Robotics, who developed India's first indigenously drone defense dome which is known as Indrajal. So these are the keywords you have to remember. And guys, remember this anti-drone dome provides 24/7 protection to a large area or a city of almost 1000 to 2000 square kilometer against threats such as the unmanned aerial vehicles, or you can say the drones, incoming weapons or the missiles, or you can say low radar cross section targets autonomously. And it will provide real-time situation updates. And it is a comprehensive three-dimensional geographical information system based display system, especially for command, control, communication, computers, intelligence, surveillance, or you can say the targeting. And it is an autonomous defense system or the weapon system composed of 9 to 10 technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber security, robotics to identify and counter the threats. And you can also remember that this company earlier entered into the partnership with Bharat Electronics Limited to develop autonomous air defense technology to make Indian defense technological at par with the best defense systems in the world. So BEL and this Green Robotics also entered into the partnership for the defense system for the autonomous air defense technology. You can just remember this. So just remember the name, that is Indrajal, and I already told you about the keywords. Now we are moving to the next question. Who has been appointed as the chairman of the Indian Federation of the United Nations Association, which is also known as IFUNA? And answer of this question is Shambhunath Srivastava. So you have to just remember the name of this association, Indian Federation of United Nations Association, and who was appointed as the chairman, Shambhu Nath Shrivastava. Earlier this position was held by Mukul Sangma. I think you remember the name. Mukul Sangma was the former chief minister of Meghalaya. And guys, you can also see here the picture of Shambhu Nath Shrivastava appointed as this organization chairman. And remember, this organization, which is known as Indian Federation of United Nations Association, is a non-governmental, voluntary and non-profit organization working for international peace and understanding and to promote the objectives of the United Nations and its specialized agencies. It was founded by the social reformer Acharya Narendra Dev. I think you know the name, Acharya Narendra Dev, and it is affiliated with the World Federation of United Nations Association, which is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. So you can also remember it is the only body to represent India in the United Nations forums, and it is also has the consultative status of the United Nations Economic and Social Council. So otherwise, you don't have to remember this technical information. Just remember the name of the organization and remember the chairman of this organization. And this person, Shambhu Nath Shrivastava, was the former Allahabad High Court judge and former chief Lokayukta of Chhattisgarh, and he was appointed as the chairman. But guys, other appointments here are also very, very important. You can see the first is Justice A.K. Mishra. He was recently appointed as chairperson of National Human Rights Commission. Most important appointment you have to remember, Justice A.K. Mishra appointed as chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission. T.V. Narendran, he was recently appointed as president of Confederation of Indian Industry for 1 year, like 2021 to 2022. Ranjit Singh Desale, very famous name, and he was recently appointed as World Bank Education Advisor. Remember, World Bank Education Advisor for the time period of 2021 to 2024. So remember Ranjit Singh Desale. Moving to next question. So all the most important questions are now covered. We are moving to the very important questions. You have to like this video, share this video and subscribe this channel. And guys, please join our Telegram group from the description box link. This is the only motivation you can give us. And here is the question. Who wrote a book, Nathuram Godse, The True Story of Gandhi Assassin? So the very important keyword under this question, the name Nathuram Godse. So you have to remember the name. And guys, this book is written by Dhaval Kulkarni. And Nathuram Godse, I think you know, he assassinated Gandhiji in 1948. And you can see here, this is the cover page of the book, Nathuram Godse, The True Story of Gandhi Assassin. And it is written by Dhaval Kulkarni. You can also see the image of Nathuram Godse. And guys, you have to remember about this book. The book features the unknown aspects of Godse's life, his ideology, and the other factors that led to the assassination of Gandhiji. And the book also accounts for the chain of events that took place before and after the assassination of Gandhi. So basically, this book describes the ideology of the Nathuram Godse, that why he killed Gandhi. So you have to just remember the name of the book. You have to just remember the name of the author, Dhaval Kulkarni. But you can also see here the other authors like Rajiv Malhotra. He recently wrote a book about artificial intelligence and the future of power, 5 battleground. This book is written by Rajiv Malhotra. Nitin Gokhale, we discussed so many times that he wrote a book about the life of Manohar Parrikar. Remember Manohar Parrikar, the former defense minister and the former chief minister of Goa. He's no more, but a book written on Manohar Parrikar, it is written by Nitin Gokhale. Ranjit Hoskote or Hoskote, he wrote a book, Hunch Prose. Remember the name of the book, Hunch Prose. Moving to next question. What is the global minimum corporate tax on globally operating companies decided by G20 OECD and the G7 countries? So you have to remember the keyword global minimum corporate tax that should be applied to the global operating companies, and it is decided by, firstly it is decided by the G7 countries, now it is decided by G7 and the OECD countries. And answer of this question, minimum it should be 15%. And you can see here India also joined this global minimum tax rate plan because India already assigned the cooperative tax of 25% to 30% bracket. So India is already eligible for this 15% bracket, and China also joined this global minimum tax rate plan. And you can see here this global minimum tax was basically proposed by US President Joe Biden, and it was accepted by G7 countries in June 2021. And you have to remember G7 presidentship of this year lies with the United Kingdom, and India and China have joined this G20 OECD tax framework deal to for the global minimum corporate tax. It means the global minimum corporate tax is set to come into force from the July 2023. Examiner can ask this deadline, that when it will be applicable. It is set to come into force from the July 2023 and mandates 15% tax on globally operating companies such as Google and Facebook. And it is applicable for global companies with a global annual revenue of at least 20 billion euros or 24 billion USD and a profit margin of over 10%. You have to remember the condition also, because examiner can ask this condition: the minimum or the annual revenue of at least 20 billion euros and a profit margin of at least over 10%. And the main objective of introducing the tax is to prevent global companies from shifting to low tax regions to secure extended profit. And the 15% tax is expected to generate as estimated 150 billion USD additional tax revenue each year. And remember, it is proposed by firstly Joe Biden and it was accepted by the G7 countries. And OECD is coordinating the global campaign for this tax. And you can remember about OECD here, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Its headquarters is in Paris, France. And guys, remember, G20 presidentship of this year lies with Italy. So G7 with UK, G20 with Italy, and OECD headquarters in Paris. So these things are very, very important. And guys, you can also remember about recent related news. The Asian Development Bank has launched the Asia Pacific Tax Hub to enhance international tax cooperation. You can just remember the keyword Asia Pacific Tax Hub is basically launched by the Asian Development Bank to enhance the international tax cooperation. So these are the things you have to remember. Now we can move to the next question. Which country recently awarded a malaria-free certification by World Health Organization? This is just a one-liner question you can remember, or you can remember the question as in slide, and answer of this question is China. And you can see here from 30 million cases to 0 case, and it is China is certified malaria-free by the World Health Organization. And in over the 3 decades or the 30 years, China has also become the first country to be awarded a malaria-free certification in the WHO Western Pacific region. This certificate basically recognized China 70 years effort to eradicate this disease like malaria disease, and China reported 0 case for the last 5 years. And it should be noted that countries that have achieved at least 3 consecutive years of 0 indigenous case can apply for WHO certification of their malaria-free status. But China reported 0 case for the last 4 years, but the condition is just for 3 years. And previously, WHO had awarded this certification in the Australia in 1981, Singapore in 1982, and Brunei in 1987 in the Western Pacific region. So just remember, it is China and it is malaria-free certificate. So remember the question as in slide. Now we are moving to the next question. What is the theme of 6th BRICS Culture Ministers Meeting 2021? And I think all the students know this, that 2021 chairmanship of BRICS lies with India. Chairmanship of BRICS lies with India, and it is attended by our Union Minister of Culture, or you can say Minister of State Independent Charge of Culture and Tourism. It is Prahlad Singh Patel. You can see here in the picture, Shri Prahlad Singh Patel chairs 6th meeting of BRICS Culture Minister through the video conference. You can see here the face of Prahlad Patel. And guys, remember the theme of this event is bonding and harmonizing cultural synergy. So this is main theme of this event. And guys, remember, it is for the increasing collaboration among the member countries in exchanging knowledge for the culture experiences to protect various tangible and the intangible cultural heritage. And a proposal was made for the information of the BRICS Alliance to conserve and preserve ancient manuscripts through digital means. And guys, remember about BRICS. BRICS was formed in 2009. And 2021 chairmanship lies with India. And guys, remember, India's theme, 2021 theme is BRICS @ 15, intra-BRICS cooperation for continuity, consolidation and consensus. You have to remember the main theme of the full year of India's chairmanship, BRICS @ 15, because the first idea of BRICS was proposed in 2006. So that's why it completed the 15 years, and we are celebrating BRICS @ 15. So remember this, and now we are moving to the next question. Who addressed 17th World Congress for Cervical Pathology and Colposcopy? And this word is also known as colposcopy. Basically, this World Congress on the Cervical Pathology and Colposcopy is, you can say, on the cervical cancer and the treatment of this cervical cancer or the elimination of this cervical cancer. And this is addressed by our health minister, that is Harshvardhan ji. You can remember the name. And you can also see here Dr. Harshvardhan addresses 17th World Congress. You have to remember the number 17th. And it is World Congress for the Cervical Pathology and the Colposcopy. And theme is eliminating cervical cancer, call for action. And guys, remember, World Health Organization call for elimination of cervical cancer by the year of 2030. By the year of 2030. And you can see here, it was inaugurated by Vice President Venkaiah Naidu. And examiner can ask this also, that this summit or this World Congress event was inaugurated by whom? So answer is Venkaiah Naidu, our Vice President. And theme is eliminating cervical cancer, call for action. And World Health Organization already called for this action, like elimination of the cervical cancer by the 2030, because cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer in the woman, affecting 500,000 women across the world each year and killing 250,000. And even Harshvardhan ji highlighted the efforts taken by India to stop cervical cancer. India is one of the few developing countries which have formulated the National Cancer Control Program, because in 2016, India launched the operational guidelines for screening of common cancers like cervical, breast and the oral cancers. And India, among the 194 other countries, have resolved to work together for elimination of the common cancers through 90% of the HPV vaccine coverage and 70% screening coverage and 90% of the treatment for the cervical pre-cancer and the cancer, including access of the palliative care. And you have to just remember that WHO called for the elimination of the cervical cancer, as well as India also called to eliminate the cervical cancer by the year of 2030. So remember, and there is a society which is known as Indian Society of Colposcopy and the Cervical Pathology. You don't have to remember this society, but there is one organization related to the cervical cancer. And Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Harshvardhan ji, and constituency is Chandni Chowk, New Delhi, and Minister of State is Ashwini Kumar Chaubey, and Ashwini Kumar Chaubey constituency is Buxar, Bihar. But it is not important. Harshvardhan ji important here. Moving to next question. A book titled India to the Rescue, authored by whom? So just remember the question as in slide, or just name is very important. India to the rescue. And answer of this question is Sushant Singh and Shruti Rao. Journalist Sushant Singh and children's book writer Shruti Rao have authored a new children's book. It is a children's book which is known as India to the Rescue. The illustrations of this book were done by a new person that is known as Shanglik Chakrabarti, but you don't have to remember. And this book basically features the rescue operation, which is known as Operation Cactus, which averted the Maldives crisis in the 3rd November of 1988. And Operation Cactus is India's one of the quickest and the most successful missions. And the accounts of this Operation Cactus were originally written by only Sushant Singh, who has researched the story and interviewed many of the characters of this operation. But you have to remember, it is on the Operation Cactus, and name of this book is India to the Rescue, but it is one of the children books so that children can be motivated through this mission, Operation Cactus. Now, moving to next question, but you can also remember the one author again here. One name is Akash Ranisan. He recently wrote a book related to climate change. Remember, Climate Change Explained for One and All. This is the name of the book. Moving to next. What will be the new retirement age of LIC chairman? So this is just a simple question, one-liner question, and you have to just remember the age, and answer of this question is 62. Earlier, the age of retirement of chairman was 60 years, but now it is 62 years. And I think all the students know this. In June 2021, the government made a 9-month extension of the LIC chairman, that is M.R. Kumar till March 2022, in view of ongoing preparation of the initial public offer of the LIC. Because in the budget 2021, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman already announced the IPO, initial public offer of LIC, to be floated in 2021-22 as a part of 1.75 lakh crore disinvestment target. And the government also amended the LIC Act in 1956 along with the Finance Act 2021 and increased the authorized share capital of LIC from 100 crore to 225,000 crore to facilitate the listing. So guys, remember, LIC was basically established in 1956 and headquarters is in Mumbai, and chairman is M.R. Kumar. His time period recently extended by 9 months. Remember. Moving to next, and it is from the picture, but it is very important question, especially for the students who are appearing for the SBI exam. RBI prescribes qualification for managing director and whole-time directors of the urban cooperative banks. So what is the criteria now for the managing director and the whole-time directors of the Urban Cooperative Bank? Remember, it is for the Urban Cooperative Bank. Education qualification, they prescribe that he should be a graduate, preferably with the qualification in banking or diploma in banking, finance, chartered accountant, MBA, or the post-graduation in any discipline. Age limit, that is minimum from the 35 years and maximum 70 years. The bank's board were allowed to prescribe a lower retirement age, but minimum age should be 35, maximum should be 70 years. What do you believe the experience requirement? At least 8 years of experience at the middle and the senior management level in the banking sector, including Urban Cooperative Bank and the non-banking financial companies. And ineligible persons also there, like ineligible like member of parliament, member of legislative assembly, MLAs, member of municipal corporation or the municipalities or the other local bodies, person engaged in any business, trade, or having substantial interest in any company, they are ineligible. And guys, remember, minimum period to hold this post after the first appointment is just 3 years. It means they can hold this post continuously for the 3 years, but they can be reappointed. They can be reappointed after a minimum gap of the 3 years. They can be reappointed, and in the 3 years they should not be appointed or associated with the bank directly or indirectly. This is a very notable point. And maximum period to hold the post at a time is 5 years, and minimum to minimum is 3 years, so it can be the minimum or the maximum time period. And maximum tenure to hold the post in the same bank after the reappointment, it can be the 15 years. Maximum to maximum, it can be the 15 years for the Urban Cooperative Banks. And MD or the managing director shall be an ex officio member of the board of management, and the performance of MD and the whole time director shall be reviewed by the board annually. And guys, Urban Cooperative Banks with a deposit size less than 100 crore and the salary earners banks are exempted from the regulations and seeking prior approval of the RBI for the appointment, or you can say the termination of the MD or the whole time directors. Remember, this is only applicable if the deposit size is more than 100 crore. This is the condition. So you have to also remember this. And guys, remember, this is conditions which are situated or the stipulated by Reserve Bank of India. Now we are moving to the next question. All the most important questions and very important questions are now covered. We are moving to important section, but you have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, this is the only motivation you give us. Please like this video and share as maximum as possible. And please join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. World Bank increased COVID-19 vaccine funding by $8 billion to how much? It is $20 billion. Answer of this question is D. So you have to just remember the figure 8 billion to $20 billion, and this decision has taken to overcome the disproportionate vaccine rates between the advanced economies and the developing countries, as the latter are facing sharp increase in the overall financing demand. Like the developing countries are basically facing the sharp increase in the overall financing demand. That's why they increase this funding. You don't have to remember the other things, but you have to remember there is a platform which is known as COVAX facility, which is also known as COVID-19 Vaccine Global Access. And the World Bank vaccine financing package will be used by the countries to buy vaccine doses through the COVAX facility or the other sources. But you have to remember $20 billion. And you can also remember about the World Bank. World Bank headquarters is in Geneva, not Geneva. Its headquarters is in Washington, D.C. So remember, World Bank and the IMF, both organizations basically formed in 1944, known as Bretton Woods Twins. And World Bank headquarters is in Washington, D.C. Even IMF headquarters is also in Washington, D.C. And countries member are 189, IMF countries are 190. And head of World Bank is David R. Malpass. So remember these things. These are very, very important. So moving to next, who released a compendium related to Deen Dayal Annatodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, which is addressing gender issues. And this is released by Union Rural Minister, and it is Narendra Singh Tomar. You can see here, Union Rural Development Minister releases this compendium on the best practices to address gender issues by Deen Dayal Annatodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. So basically, so many issues are handled by this, you can say, scheme, which is known as National Rural Livelihood Mission. The voices of women and the girl who have sought support from the village organization, social action committees to address a range of issues such as the prevention of child marriages and violence against women are highlighted in the event. And the case studies from 23 states pointed out under this process mechanisms, strategies, and the plans for replicating and scaling the gender interventions to advance the gender equality. Even the union minister appreciated the ministry's effort in providing sport to the women and girls to voice their concerns and seek sport through the Deen Dayal Antyodaya, or you can say Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. And guys, you can also remember this was launched in 2011 and known as Ajivika National Rural Livelihood Mission, and it was started by Ministry of Rural Development. But in 2015, Modi government changed the name. The name is now Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. And under this scheme, self-help groups were formed to provide financial, economic and the social development services to the members or the rural poor women for enhancing their income and quality of life. Even self-help group members who came out of poverty became the community resource persons, and they are acting as the change agents. And Ministry of State like Sadhvi Niranjan ji and also senior officials from the Ministry of Rural Development also participated under this event. And a compendium is a summary of the information of a larger work. So guys, remember, Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, constituency is Morena, and Minister of State is Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti, and constituency is Fatehpur in Uttar Pradesh. Moving to next question. It is from picture, and it is National Kickboxing Federation and the WACO India. Basically, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports recognized WACO India Kickboxing Federation as the National Sports Federation of India. So it gets government recognition as the National Sports Federation. Which organization? WACO India Kickboxing Federation, or WACO stands for World Association of Kickboxing Organizations. India headquartered Kickboxing Federation is now recognized as the National Sports Federation, and it is also recognized by the International Olympic Committee, that WACO, the International Federation for Kickboxing, as a full-time member of the Olympic Games. That's why Indian National Sports Federation also recognized this. And kickboxing is said to be a permanent member from 2021 Tokyo Olympic. This is important point for you. Examiner can make question from this line. And recognition as a national sports federation will provide extended promotion and development of the sport at a faster pace in India. And Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports is Kiran Rijiju ji, constituency is Arunachal West, Arunachal Pradesh. And Sport Authority of India is a apex national sports body of India, established in 1984. And guys, you can also remember where is the headquarter of this World Association of Kickboxing Organization. Its headquarter is in Italy. Exact place is Milan in Italy. Milan. Now we are moving to one-liner important point. Here is the first point. Department of Science releases draft National Space Transportation Policy of 2020. It means the draft National Space Transportation Policy of 2020 covers all aspects of rocket launching, launch pads, or you can say space objects and the other things. It aims to unlock the potential of space sector in the country with respect to space transportation system by creating a healthy ecosystem for private companies to develop launch vehicles and launch them from Indian territory. Because earlier there is a program which was launched by ISRO that Indian private companies can establish and operate the rocket launch sites within and outside the country, and after getting prior authorization from the government. So private organizations can also now enter in the space sector. And guys, remember, Department of Space, the portfolio of Department of Space is held by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and Secretary is K. Sivan, and Secretariat is in Bengaluru, Karnataka. Next is role of women in leading scientific research increased by 4%. It is one of the report of DST. So guys, remember 4%. As you have to just remember the figure 4%, and it is by Department of Science and Technology. So according to this Department of Science and Technology, role of women in leading scientific research is now 28%. Earlier it was 24%. So it is increased by 4%. Otherwise it is not so much important. It is just a information for you. Next, NABARD sanctioned rupees 388 crore for drinking water and road projects in Odisha. So guys, if you belongs to Odisha, then you have to read this news. Otherwise it is not so much important. But you have to remember about NABARD. NABARD was established in 1982. That is the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. And it was established with the recommendation of B. Sivaraman Committee. Remember, B. Sivaraman Committee. And its headquarters is in Mumbai. Chairman is Govind Rajulu or G.R. Chintala. RB imposed rupees 25 lakh penalty on the Punjab and Sindh Bank. Now again, so many banks are under consideration for the penalty, but recently Punjab and Sindh Bank got the penalty of 25 lakh for the non-compliance with a certain provision related to the direction on the cyber security network on the banks. Next, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat resigned. So he was recently appointed as a new Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Like on the 10th of March of 2021, he was appointed as the Chief Minister by replacing Trivendra Singh Rawat. And according to the Article 164 of the Constitution and the section, remember this section, 151A. 151A of the Representation of the People Act of 1951, he had 6 months till 10th September to become a member of Uttarakhand Assembly in order to continue in the post. Because any person who is not a member of either house of state legislature, like legislative assembly or legislative council, then he can become a chief minister or the minister, but he can remain this for 6 months without membership, but he have to become a member for continue his post. But guys, his validity of the term is 10th of September. Why he resigned now? Because according to the election commission data or of the section of 151A of the Representation of People Act, that election commission cannot hold any by election if the time period of the state assembly is 4 or more year. It means the election is due in less than a year. That's why this Chief Minister of Uttarakhand resigned, that is Tirath Singh Rawat ji. And I am giving you one more important news, that new Chief Minister of Uttarakhand also appointed yesterday. Like on Sunday, he was appointed, and new Chief Minister, you have to remember the name, Pushkar Singh Dhami. Pushkar Singh Dhami. You have to remember this name. We will cover this news definitely, but it is current news, so that's why I am covering. Pushkar Singh Dhami is appointed as the new Chief Minister of Uttarakhand on Sunday. And remember, he is the youngest Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. He is the youngest Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. He is just 45 years old and he became the youngest Chief Minister. So remember this. Next, International Day of the Cooperatives observed on the 3rd of July. Every year it is not celebrated on 3rd of July. Every year it is celebrated on the first Saturday of July. Now in 2021, it falls on 3rd of July. That's why it is celebrated. So why this day is celebrated? It is observed to increase awareness of the cooperatives and highlight the contribution of the cooperative movement. And it aims to strengthen and extend partnership between the international cooperative movements and other actors, including governments, locals, nationals or the international level. And the theme of this day is rebuild better together. Remember, better together, rebuild better together. So remember this. Now we are moving to next question. It is the question of the day, that is 3rd of July 2021. Question was, who was the chairman of the committee on the medium term path on the financial inclusion? So the main keyword of this question was medium term path, and it is on the financial inclusion, and answer of this question is Deepak Mohanty, and this committee was created in 2015 by the Reserve Bank of India, and it is to create 5-year plan for the financial inclusion in India, and it is headed by Deepak Mohanty and Executive Director of the RBI, and it is expected to submit its report within the 4 months. And the objective of this committee to examine the existing policy regarding the financial inclusion and form a 5-year action plan. And the plan will have several components with regard to payments, deposits, credit, social security transfer, pension and the insurance. And each component will be made monitorable with milestones to track the progress of the plan. And there are so many members of this Deepak Mohanty committee or the Mohanty committee. So remember this, and we are moving to next question. It is the question of the day. And in what form the banks are required to maintain deposits with the RBI under cash reserve ratio? And guys, if you know the monetary policy, then you can answer this question very easily, because this question is very easy for the banking student especially. And guys, please answer me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. Please like this video, share this video and subscribe this channel. And guys, this is the only motivation you can give us. And please press this bell button and join our Telegram group for the official notifications. And guys, remember, it is my personal promise that if you're watching the videos regularly and if you're reading the PDFs from sources, then your current affair section will go strong. And you can subscribe a PDF from the description box link by downloading this application. and after downloading you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 year, and both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price you will definitely surprise, but on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Thank you guys for watching this video and take care. Bye bye.